Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Googl, otherwise known as the FANG. And Kramer today or yesterday was talking about calling it FA now, F-A-A-A-A, something like that. But anyways, guys, let's get into Facebook. I am using some new charts today. This is e-signal, and I'm going to give this one a shot and see how this works. So I'm still learning it a little bit, but I'm slowly getting the hang of it. So let's get right into the daily chart on Facebook. So we had a nice little breakout here. We got it into the 131.98 area, which was the all-time high. Pulled back nicely. We have a nice bearish pattern, inside bar. They get it back to the 750 retrace, gap fill, comes right back in. Now we're chopping around sideways, in a bearish manner. We are below the 20 MA, so we'll see what next week brings in. We get a couple more days sideways action like this. I'm thinking we have the next setup to the next leg down. Everything will be a market trade, though. If the SPY does not sell, this one will possibly stay buoyant and stay in this area. And then if the SPY sells, or if the SPY moves up, this one can move up. Everything right now is a market trade. The overall markets dump, then these will dump as well. So you got to follow that too. Let's go right to the weekly. Bear with me, guys, with my charts. I'm still learning this system. So, all right, on the weekly chart, we have a little bit different, but pretty much, yeah, see, hold on here. Let's open this up. Oh, we were talking about this, though. We do have a nice little topping tail right here. These are the lines from the daily chart. So we had the down move sideways into a bearish manner. Now we move down again. So as long as we stay below this topping tail here, right at the 131.98 or so, then this pattern here is intact on the daily chart, the two bearish patterns. So what we're looking for, if you're bullish, you want to get above the 132 area and close, and then next week you want to follow with it with a confirmation. But right now we had a move up, had a nice little reversal here, and then we're chopping around. So slight bullish pattern up here. We're above the MAs here still, but technically on the daily chart we're setting up to possibly get lower prices. Again, SPY sells, these are coming in. Monthly chart, same thing. If we here, let me see if I can, yeah, okay, I move that over a little bit. So same thing on the monthly chart. We have a little bit of a tail up on the top here. Nothing crazy, but yeah, I guess so. This is when it IPO'd, pretty much straight up, and eventually this one's got to take another breather, guys. I'm thinking it could possibly come into the 102, 103 level if everything starts to dump out, but you just got to keep an eye on this. See what happens. I'm going to take this out, in fact. Take that out. So we're going to have to see what happens up in here. And but it does have a little tail. Let's see if we can pull back. If it does pull back in this area, you could probably buy Facebook. But we'll have to take this one day at a time. So let's go to Amazon. This is another one, just a complete high flyer. So now this one's getting really extended on the monthly chart. But let's go. Let's start with the daily. On the daily chart, we have this trend line. It goes all the way back to 2014. 2014, there you go. 2014, connect the highs here in December 2015, and boom, here we are. We're right in the price as of today. So we're above the trend line on the daily. We did confirm above it, but on this one, Amazon, we're following this one on the weekly, or yeah, the weekly pattern. Because at this point, we got above that area on the weekly, but for this thing to confirm, and if you are short Amazon, I want to see it close above the high of this candle. I got to see that data, which is, let's see, the high of that candle is 839.95. So if next week this thing closes, say at 840, then it's confirmed, but I'm still thinking with 3 weeks up, into a, maybe 850 area, because next week we could possibly shoot to the 850 area and then reverse it. Right now they're just squeezing. Everything's on hype. Only way these stocks are moving up, kind of like Netflix, and we'll talk about that. Last week we talked about Netflix. The only way this thing's going to go up is on some sort of news, and yesterday they got news. Thing popped up. I'm still thinking it was options. Some options expired yesterday. They needed higher prices, so they jumped out on some news or just got the thing higher. And it rallied. These guys don't want to pay out premiums, let me tell you. So this one's still going. Let's see, monthly chart. Like I said, I'm learning these charts, guys. Monthly chart, we did close above that trend line. Let's see if it closes the following month above that trend line. We do have earnings coming up next, I don't know if it's next month or possibly the starting of November. I'm going to have to start looking at these earnings dates. But yeah, that's very important too. But they're running it up into earnings, kind of like this time here. Ran it up, came in, ran it up again, and then it can't get too far away from this moving average, which is roughly around 588.07. So I'm still thinking this one could possibly go a little higher. I am short this one. I think it can turn around though and go straight back down and maybe go, somewhere in the 600 area. Maybe this high pivot here around 698 first, and then we'll have to see, we'll have to see where this thing goes. Let's put a fib in this one just to see. So if this one starts to go, let's see. Oops. This one starts to roll over. So you have the 250 retrace at 746. You have the 382 at 697. You have the 50 at 654, and then ultimately the 618s at 611. And they've been overshooting a lot. I mean, look at this though. So if we're looking at the 220 MA, 20 MA is right around 589. That's right in between the two major Fibonacci levels. So we'll be watching that if this thing possibly turns around this month and goes and starts to move downward. Upward, maybe 850, then you're looking at 875 and possibly 900, depending on the markets. If the SPY starts to sell, this one will come in. If the SPY stays buoyant, they could possibly push this one up a little bit higher. Let's look at Netflix. Netflix, same thing. They had some news on Friday. The only way they're getting these stocks up is on news. It's almost getting to a point. It's getting sad. It's like, oh wait, news. Let's push these things up. So we're looking at that upper trend line here, connecting the highs from here to here to here to here, and that's exactly where we went into on Friday. When they were pushing this thing up, it almost got to, I think it almost got, yeah, 99.59. I was waiting for the $100 even number, never got there. I believe we took a short scalp though. We didn't take too much on it. I think we took 20 or 30 cents and we just got the heck out. But as it pushed up, we went to the trend line. We went into this 99.28, which is the 750 retrace. Boom, came right back. But technically now for Netflix, we are above all the moving averages. They had to squeeze it above there. So next week, let's see if we close above this trend line, or do we reverse right down and then close below the MAs and then start heading on to gap window, then gap fill down in here right around 87.62. Let's go to the weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing. We have a lot of resistance right up in here, and if you look, there's that trend line coming in there. Look at that. I mean, it's a nice bear or a bullish pattern here, but we're still inside this red bar. Until we get above the 99, well, let's say $100 area and close and confirm. Let's go a step further. 179, which is the 50 MA. Until we get above that area, and I would like it to get above the 104 area as well, this high pivot. Until we get above there, we're just going to be chopping around. Markets sell, this thing's going down. Markets get another bid, it could possibly move up. I mean, it was up $1.88 on the day. Not bad showing, but we'll see next week what these stocks are going to bring us. And some earnings, I believe, start on Monday. I'm going to have to look to see which one. Excuse me. Gosh, it's been a long day so far today. It's only 1 o'clock my time. So, but yeah, we'll watch this thing closely. We are still below the 50 MA, but we're above the 20. Kind of in a bullish stance, but until we get above this inside bar, then I think it could possibly break out. If it doesn't, then I think we're going to be heading right down to 84.56. And ultimately, guys, on a weekly chart, this thing hasn't touched the 200 MA since, what is this? 11 of 2014. I mean, it hasn't been there. It needs to come. It's going to come back down to here. It always does. Just a matter of time, guys. So just be really careful with Netflix. Don't buy it on this one bounce up. If it gets above the 50 MA, maybe above the 104, then maybe it gets to 112. But the only way it's going to do that is on news. It's not going to do it just because it's Netflix anymore. A lot of these stocks, they get news, they drive up, and that's how they're getting stocks higher. And just spread the rumor, and as they're spreading it, the big boys are coming in and distributing. But this is the one pattern I'm looking at. This is an ugly one. You have a big down, sideways, inside bar, bearish pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months sideways. My gosh, if this thing cracks, we are definitely going down to here, which is 63.36, and then this low pivot down to here around 59. So just be careful with this one, guys. If you're a bag holder up in here, you might just want to say thank you very much. We gave it a shot. Or if the markets do catch a bid, the SPY, the Qs, and all that stuff, then maybe. I mean, then you got this big pivot here around 112, 111.88. Just got to be careful. Just be careful on this one. But this pattern is ugly, and when this thing starts to break, we're going downtown Charlie Brown. All right, let's get into the last one, which is Googl. And let's get to the daily. So the daily, we had a nice little run from here, from the 783 area, got right back into double top, I believe it was. Let's see. Actually, 810. Where's this one here? 810, 814. I don't have the high prices. Hold on here. Yeah, this isn't going to show me either. So the high was around 818.68. I'm gonna have to put that over here. Sorry guys, I'm just talking to myself. I'm using these charts. I used eSignal before. I went to Realtick. Now I'm back to eSignal, and we're gonna give this one a shot. A lot of my friends use it, and they said a lot of the tools are pretty good with this. And then just a little bit works a little bit better for me and my buddies. Put it that way. So let's move this over here. All right, so we put a Fibonacci on here. This is the daily chart. So we went right back up into the all-time high. It did get above here, never confirmed, came right back in. So right now we have a slight inside bar bearish pattern, but it's basically a macro bull, a micro bear. If we get more consolidation in this type of manner, I'm looking for lower prices. The only way this thing's going to go up, we need to recapture this gap fill here right around 115.13. We need to get back to the all-time high, which is right around 118 or 119.17 or so. I don't have the all-time high on here. At least I don't think so. I'm gonna have to see how I can get this on here. I think I could put it in this bar. But anyways, yeah, inside bar, bearish pattern. If this thing goes another, couple days or a week or so, I think we're setting up for lower prices. Look for it to get below the 20 and the 50. If we do that, I think we'll go right back to double bottom, which is 783.91, and then possibly right back here. First, the gap fill. 766.09, and then the 200 moving average right here at 752.20. This is an area where you could possibly buy, but we're going to have to see how this one sells. If the SPY and everything's just dumping, look out below, because these things can possibly even go lower. And you have a gap to fill down in here. You got some gaps down in this area, and then I think you had, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could. Like I said, I'm learning the charts, guys. This one here, got it down pretty good. Like I said, I've used this one before. So you got that, you have that support down in here. If you take this fib out of that one, let's put a new one from here to here. So you have some support down in this, the $700 area, and there you got a little bit of pivot. You got a pivot there as well, 703.50. So Googl right now, it's not terrible. Just got to keep an eye on the SPY. Like I said, everything's a market trade. If this thing starts setting up sideways more above these moving averages, it's setting up to possibly go lower, in my opinion. Let's look at the weekly. A little bit different on the tabs too. Weekly, nothing bad here, other than it tried breaking out. We came right back in. We're below the old all-time high back here until we capture that 819. 819.91 or 820. I think we're just going to head down. We're still above the MAs and everything. Gives us a bullish stance, but come on. After a move like this, now it's consolidating. Unless they're waiting on earnings and they're going to hold it up here and see what happens on earnings and then go from there. Maybe they do hold the whole market here and wait for everything to come in. But ultimately, on the monthly chart, we have a topping tail here. It did not close above it on the monthly chart. I'm still thinking this one can possibly come back in until we close above the all-time, or actually this topping tail right around 814.98 or so. All right, guys, I'm out of time here. Thanks again for watching my videos. If you have any questions or comments, give me an email at stockbookie@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. God bless. See you on the charts.